Hey guys, welcome back to our behind-the-scenes look at the brand new Tomb Raider game. Now, previous games had you on the hunt for wild treasures and ancient relics, but for the new Lara Croft, the stakes have never been higher. Well, still with us is a born survivor, the new Lara Croft herself, Camilla Luddington. How did this survival concept grow your character?
This is the first life and death situation that Lara's ever been in. She realizes that her friends and herself are being hunted, and that really changes everything for her.
I'm sure that affected your performance because over the game she grows much more confident.
There was a conversation that was constantly going back and forth between myself and the directors and writers. So they would give me context as to where Lara was emotionally and physically in the game. I've done lots of TV at this point, and you spend hours upon hours on one scene concentrating that and then having a break and then going and filming a different scene. With a game, you have a camera right in front of your head. There's not lots of set changes, so you're going from highs and lows constantly. Well,
thankfully, you made it through, and now it's time for the fans to get through the game. Here's a look at exactly what it takes to survive and conquer the brand new Tomb Raider.
If I don't survive, none of us will.
Let's talk about the idea of survival.
Yeah.
This phrase, a survivor is born.
We were very attracted to that idea of survival as a situation that would force Lara to grow as a character. We looked at real-world human survival stories featured in movies like 127 Hours. When you look at someone like Aaron Ralston cutting off his own arm to free himself, what was interesting to us is you see a force of will and an endurance that in some ways reminded us of Lara as a character, and that if she doesn't progress as a character, she's going to die on this island.
Well, as she starts to progress, there's a series of pieces of gear that you acquire. You're looking at climbing axes to bows and arrows to pistols, machine guns, shotgun. But what really starts to take firm grasp in the mind of a gamer is, how can I use this for more than just directly shooting? Solving problems with a shotgun at first is just about killing enemies, and later you're like, can I use this to actually ungate places I couldn't get to before?
She gets skill points and salvage that you can use to upgrade her gear, upgrade herself. So she gets a more capable set of equipment for you to actually get through this journey.
It starts to feel a lot more like what you would imagine a resourceful girl to look like, and she's just fighting to survive.
As Lara builds her will to survive, it's the sounds of the island that build an eerie tension, bringing the island of Yamatai to life. Right now I'm here with Jason Graves, who's the composer of this rebirth of Tomb Raider. How did you get involved in this project?
I got a call from Crystal Dynamics, and they were looking for a new, innovative approach for the music.
It really feels like you started from scratch with this game.
There was no baggage or responsibility to bring from the past games, just completely clean slate, and allowed me to be even more creative. That was one of the things that was really intriguing from the beginning. I started with the construction elements around my studio. There was a dumpster outside, and I was banging on that and recording it. So I called Crystal and said, how about we build something that would be unique to the game and give us some really cool sounds.
All right, Jason, so this is the instrument. You actually use this for the game. It was a big part of the score.
Yeah, it's featured throughout the score, and there's a lot of really specific sounds you could recognize. So we've got the three essential pieces that are conveying the characters in the game. This is called the vessel.
Right.
Scavengers, scary, screechy, metal. We've got the pipes back here, which is the Oni, very kind of meditative and chime-like. And of course, the bowls, which represent the island. The coolest thing about this is it's made to be played. So let's invoke the spirit of the island.
All right.
Hit it. Crystal was very specific about the character arc that Lara would go through. We wanted it to be a slow and steady build to the end. And then you get the payoff at the end of the game. That's when you get the big epic, like, yeah, that's the theme. I can't wait to play the next one.
From epic high-octane moments to the addition of multiplayer. Coming up, it's the things that make you go, oh my. Your You're back watching Tomb Raider: The Final Hours, a story of survival. Tomb Raider's cinematic gameplay is like stepping into a blockbuster movie, having to fight off enemies with a bow and arrow while ziplining off a cliff, all to jump into a helicopter. So who better to ask about all the action than Camilla Luddington? So when I see something like, Lara, like jumping for the helicopter, you did that stunt?
With a mat in
Okay.
place. Yeah, so I don't actually break anything, but I do remember my first day actually showing up and not knowing how physical it would necessarily be. And I thought, oh my god, I got completely beaten up today. And I was lying in the bath and I thought, I have to do some sort of training. So I actually did circuit training while I was filming, just to help loosen me up. And I knew I had to up my game, basically, the next day.
All right, well, let's take a look at Camilla in action and a look at the people behind the game who brought Lara Croft to life. Right now, I'm here with Kyle Peschel, the producer of Tomb Raider. There's one group here that we should talk about, the OMS team. What does that stand for?
OMS is short for Oh My. Early on in this game, we talked about what makes an experience that draws you in. Whether it's massive explosions, or whether it's these like close and intimate moments.
You're a Croft.
I don't think I'm that kind of Croft.
You're just stunned by that moment and just say, oh my. That's awesome. So when you have a moment in our game where she's down a water slide, past propeller blades, into a hole of a plane, and then she's left dangling over a cliff, in that moment, OMS is about the glass slowly cracking and telling you as the player that you know more than what she knows at that moment.
Now, you've got a great team here that's working on this game. Tell me about, everyone banding together to try and make this great.
It's so spectacular to sit down and to see something expressed on screen and then to say, it'd be cooler if, and everybody's actually listening. I think people forget we're fans of Lara Croft. We want to see her get her due. And to be part of a team that's building that, the guys that we work with are awesome.
And for the first time in the game's 17-year history, Tomb Raider is finally going multiplayer. What did you want to do with the multiplayer for this game?
It was important to us to bring a lot of our single-player sensibilities into that multiplayer experience. So traps, things like a snare trap, which strings you upside down and you actually have to fight from there. Lightning rods that you can set up, and if the enemy comes close to them, they'll get struck by lightning. We also brought over the traversal mechanics like the climbing axe and the zip lines.
This is not a game where you have, 8 Laras running around on the same map. You have different survivors you can actually play in the multiplayer.
You got the scavengers who live on the island and the survivors who crash there, trying to basically just survive in this hostile island environment. If they don't work together, they're not going to survive. It feels almost life and death at times. The stakes are really high.
The extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are.
I think what's kept Tomb Raider and Lara Croft in the limelight this whole time is that she's timeless, right? She doesn't seem to age, and she's not out of date. Like some characters will go out of date after 17 years, but she's still hip, she's still cool.
She's now up there with Pac-Man and Super Mario.
It's difficult to think of a female lead that's more important to us in the video game industry.
All right, that's going to do it for us, but if this made you eager to pick up the game, Tomb Raider is in stores right now. Camilla Luddington, before we go, any last words of wisdom to our fans?
Don't leave your friends behind and don't forget to explore.
Excellent. Fantastic advice. Camilla, thanks for joining us. I'm Jeff Keighley. We'll see you guys online. To learn more about the making of Tomb Raider, check out the full Final Hours Tomb Raider app on iTunes.